Hey, this is Mike, and it's Friday, October 9th. So it's the last day of the week, and the markets really rose yesterday, did really well, up almost 1%. It's right now 2:45 in the morning, and the market is still up. So everything's looking great, and that's because the S&P 500 is above the 50-day moving average. Hopefully it'll move higher. However, there is one area, not of concern, but just one thing you should notice that gold was up as well, not as strongly as the S&P 500. However, the fact that gold is up and the S&P was up strong, we may get a little bit of a pullback tomorrow, this trading day. Not really sure yet. However, we are entering today historically the strongest period for the tech market. So before we get started, if you could just please leave a like, that would really help me out and I would really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe because we do these videos before market open every day. And then I come out with breaking news whenever there's big stuff so you could just stay alerted as soon as stuff comes out. Like I said, October 9th is historically the start date of like the tech rally. Right now, if you look at Apple, all the tech stocks are kind of in a trading range right now because they had this incredible run up from like March to September. However, we will probably break out of this trading range, maybe starting today or next week. So just be on the lookout for that. In fact, let me go to Equity Clock just to show you. So Equity Clock is a really good site that just shows like some seasonality information. And I looked at Equity Clock. I always look at it like not that often, maybe like once a month, but I look at it just to get information as to see it's like what will historically perform strongly and stuff. And it looks like tech really starts like the October 9th, October 10th, usually like early October. So you definitely and the thing is, it's hard to jump into these tech stocks because they're not moving big. However, above the 50-day moving average, so they have a lot of support. So, yeah, maybe you sit on these stocks for a while, but I it, it you're going to catch that explosion upward because it's going to happen. So here's the chart here. What you're seeing is historically the movement of tech throughout the year. So you see at the beginning of the year it starts flat, and at the end of the year, on average, it's up about 8%. We are right about here. So if you notice, at about this time in early October, the tech market usually returns about 3% from January to October. But then from October to the end of the year, it returns 5%. So it's almost like 60% of all the gains in tech happen between now and the end of the year. So that's why it's very important that you put your buy list together. I talked a little bit about that yesterday. I say look at Apple, Amazon, Google, like the usual suspects, but also look at some of the lesser known stocks that have been big movers. So one that you should definitely take a look at is Etsy. Etsy is basically a social media website that focuses more on visuals and aesthetic, and it's really popular with women. And the stock has been a huge riser in the past year, 2 years. I mean, it's like at the beginning of this year it was at 44. Now it's at 139. So it's almost going up fourfold. However, if you look at the chart here, this looks like a nice setup where it had this dip going down to middle of September, and it's been rising and rising. It's at a new high. So definitely look at Etsy, and then also look at Shopify. And Shopify is basically, if you don't know, it's just a platform where like anybody can start an e-commerce store. Like you could start one in 10 minutes if you want to sell, like, drop shipping or whatever. But this has almost the same kind of pattern as Pinterest. It hasn't exactly broken through to a new high, but it's getting ready to. But it seems like every fourth quarter, Shopify gets really, really strong because a lot of these e-commerce stores, they ramp up their ad spending, and a lot of e-commerce stores will just open for the fourth quarter. Like they'll just open on Black Friday and then sell through to Christmas week, and then that's it. So you'll see a lot of activity going on. And Shopify is another company that has really risen a lot, almost more than doubled, in the past 2 years. And then I just have to mention this because this is the stock I cannot keep quiet about. And after a month of it kind of moving kind of sideways and stuff and not doing much, it exploded yesterday, and this is GameStop. And GameStop, the reason why I explained it announced a multi-year partnership with Microsoft. I did like an emergency breaking news video on it yesterday, right when the news came out. So it's like right about this point when it popped up to 11. Uh, I came out with my video yesterday, and since then it popped all the way up to 13.49, and aftermarket went up another 4.5%. So now it's sitting at 14.09. So just to let you know, the way I'm playing this stock is using cash secured puts. Now you may think, well, cash secured puts, you don't make a lot of money with those. Well, the fact is, I'm not going to make as much as, when you get these 44% days that rose, but I entered into the cash secured puts on GameStop when Ryan Cohen was announced as the new investor. Ryan Cohen's the CEO of Chewy, which was a site that sells e-commerce pet food. And Ryan Cohen started that company in Florida with no money, and today Chewy is worth $26 billion. So I think he's going to take GameStop, which is valued right now at like $800 billion, and he wants to turn GameStop into the next Amazon, which I think he's not going to turn into the next Amazon. He's not going to turn into $1 trillion company, but I think he can definitely take what he learned from Chewy and turn GameStop into like maybe a 30 or 40 billion dollar e-commerce company, just a viable, just growing e-commerce company. It looks like it's starting right now with this partnership with Microsoft. GameStop is getting a lot of resources to really build up its back end and sort of transform its retail experience. So this is not a fluke. If you're thinking this Ryan Cohen thing isn't going to amount to anything, this is starting. Now, I will say, if you want to get into GameStop, you may want to wait for a pullback, because the reason why GameStop rose so violently was 89% of the shares were short. So this is all short selling right here. And after the shorts have covered, then you're going to get the profit takers, the people who maybe bought in a month ago at 10 and now it's at 13, and they go, oh, I'm going to take my 30% profit and put it somewhere else. So I'm going to do my cash secure put today, but I would like it to fall down to like maybe 13.75, and then do sell puts on like the 30 delta, which is what I always do. And I think that may be around the 12, and sell the 12 to expire next week. Now I've had, in 1 month, I've had 4 successful trades, cash secured put trades on GameStop. And this is before the pop. Like yesterday, right after the pop, I sold my cash secured put. That was my 3rd successful trade. Then I entered another cash secured put, and that one closed 2 hours later at 50% profit. So yesterday I closed on 2 successful trades, but during the time that GameStop was trading sideways, kind of flat, I had 2 more successful trades. So that's what I love about cash secure puts, because historically stocks drift upwards. They kind of maybe drift from side to side, move upwards. And I've just found, like, I've been trading for 25 years, and I just found that cash secure puts is like the best way to make consistent money and to grow portfolio. And another reason why I don't like just trading stocks like this is, like, it's always hard to figure out when to take profit. Like, I believe in GameStop. Like, this is a company, if I owned it as a stock, I would own it for 10 years. But when we see a lot pop like this, it's so tempting to take profit. And it psychologically messes with you. And I don't like to, I want to make money in the stock market without being psychologically messed with. And also, like, GameStop, even though I do believe it's going to be a $30 billion company, is probably going to have 50, 60, 70% drawdowns, because that's just the nature of tech stocks. I mean, Amazon had a 90% drawdown a year after it IPO'd. I know, because I owned Amazon in the year 1999, and I sold it in the 2000 tech crash. And if I had held on to that stock, it would have been worth millions of dollars. So, that's why I like cash secure puts. It's consistent, easy money, and I can sleep at night. Even though I'm up at 2:45 in the morning, I like to get up early. So the one last thing I want to cover is one thing that I think will be a great catalyst will be the second stimulus. Now, we heard Trump say, I think it was like a couple of days ago, like right when he got out of the hospital, or was it Wednesday after market close, he said that he wants to break off negotiations on the stimulus, and then the market started to tank. But then Trump reversed himself and decided, no, I'm going to talk about a standalone bill. Now the latest news on the stimulus, that he's interested in a broad package. And I think the reason is Trump is down across the board like 10% in the polls, and the election is 26 days away. The only way Trump has a chance to narrow the gap right now is to literally just hand money to people. Just say, here's $1,200. To if you're a father of three, I think you get $500 on top of the 1,200. So it's like here's $2,800 or whatever, or $2,700. I mean, the only way Trump can narrow the gap between Biden is to literally just start paying people money. So I do think that there's a strong likelihood that that second stimulus is going to pass and get into the hands of people. Now, one reason why the stimulus may not pass is that Pelosi may say, look, if the stimulus doesn't pass, that just makes things worse for Trump, even though I hope she doesn't do it, because there are people who are really suffering. Like this $1,200 means the difference between paying the rent or paying the electric bill. And I think the moratorium on the rents have lifted, so now people can get evicted. So I really hope people get this money because they really need it, and it's no fault of their own that they don't have the money. Look, if you're a waitress or you're in the service business, you can't work in many states. So I hope people are able to get the stimulus, and that would not only help the stock market, it would help people really who are can't work. So that's what I have for the market today. Be sure to subscribe if you want to get these updates before market open. Also, I put out breaking news and alerts, and those breaking news and alerts are really helpful because a lot of news comes out and it doesn't become top of mind. Like this GameStop news, this was not like leading news on CNBC. You would not have known about it really until market closing. This gives you an opportunity, if you watch my channel, to catch stuff that's breaking. So if you had caught my video when it was at 11 and maybe you thought about buying in, you could have caught this jump up to 14. So just subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm going to work really hard to keep you on top of the latest news on stocks and everything, okay? It was great. Have a great Friday, and I will talk to you later. Bye.